Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moment. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Battle Through the Heavens Part 244 based on novel. So let's start. Someone from the Han clan. Xiao Yan's eyes were focused on the human figure on the distant mountain. Yao Lao and the other looked over. Their expressions immediately changed drastically. It was unexpected that there were actually experts from the Han clan present on this Shenong mountain range. It's Han Shao, one of the four demon saint. His strength is comparable to Han Jing and Han Yang. Old man Shenong was quite familiar with these people from the Han clan. Hence, his expression changed slightly after seeing the monstrous evil aura. He sighed softly. This Han clan has really dispatched all of its experts to destroy the Yao clan. Unexpectedly, there is really someone who can tear open the spatial seal placed by Nihility, sir. The figure in the distance stepped on the empty air. In a flash, he appeared in the sky above them. He looked down at Xiao Yang's group and focused his eyes onto Xiao Yan. His mouth was involuntarily parted into a smile. Those dense white teeth contained a stern evil aura, giving them the appearance of belonging to a savage beast. You are Xiao Yan, right? I have heard that the old man Han Yang has suffered a loss in your hands. The members of the Xiao clan are indeed extraordinary. Fortunately, my Han clan had decisively killed the Xiao clan. Otherwise, this world would currently be faced with a completely different situation. Xiao Yang's eyes stared intently at this black-clothed human figure. Although the latter had a dense smile on his face, his pair of eyes were filled with an indifferent evil aura. Clearly, this person was not some soft-hearted person. What should we do? Yao Lao asked in a soft voice. It is unexpected that they had encountered a wolf after escaping from a tiger's den. This fellow was obviously not an ordinary person. No one present was a match for this person if they fought. Xiao Yan's 8-colored fire lotus might be terrifying, but it could not be used continuously. Moreover, from the situation when he had used it earlier, even an 8-colored fire lotus would have difficulty kill an expert of this level. Should he manage to escape, their group would really have a difficulty fighting him. Teacher, you should leave first. I will block him for a while. Xiao Yan exhaled slowly and said. What? Yao Lao's expression changed immediately. How could Xiao Yan alone be a match for this person? Relax, I have my own plans. All of you should hurry up and leave. After that, hide your auras. I will hurry to the Gu clan after holding him back for a while. Xiao Yang softly said. He immediately clenched his hand. A jade bottle appeared in it. There was a dragon eye-sized medicinal pill floating within it. A shocking energy gathered like a crystal within the bottle while an unusual fragrance spread. Tier 9 mysterious pill. Yao Lao only sighed in relief after seeing that medicinal pill. However, his eyes still contained some worry. The energy of a Tier 9 mysterious pill was extremely terrifying. It would require many aiding medicinal pills to help in the refinement after one consumed it. Hence, even with Xiao Yang's strength, he did not dare to easily swallow it. Moreover, he would definitely have to fight with Han Shao after swallowing the pill. This would mean he would not have the attention to refine the medicinal strength. In that case, it might cause his body to suffer a relatively severe damage. Although he was worried in his heart, Yao Lao also understood the present situation. They would still have a chance to survive if they escaped. If they remained behind, however, it would not only end up distracting Xiao Yang, but they might really be eliminated by this fellow. You should be careful. Shatter this jade if you manage to escape. I will be able to feel it. Yao Lao finally stiffed a jade piece into Xiao Yan's heart while his heart struggled for a moment. After which, he let out a low cry and took the lead to rush forward. Old man Shenong behind hesitated for a moment before grabbing the youths from the Yao clan and quickly followed. Where do you think you are going? Han Shao frowned after seeing that Yao Lao and the others were actually fleeing. The ghost blade formed by blood in his hand was swung downwards. A 10,000 feet large blood blade glow shot through the sky and sharply hacked towards Yao Lao's group. Clang! The blade glow flew past with lightning-like speed. However, a black figure appeared in front of it while it was still 1,000 feet from Yao Lao's group. Both arms of the figure were crossed and it forcefully received that sharp blade glow. Bang! Although they had received the blade glow, that frightening force had directly pushed that figure into the mountain range below. An entire mountain shook and collapsed. Huge rocks rolled and a loud rumbling sound appeared. The speed of Yao Lao's group once again soared after Han Shou's attack was blocked. Within a couple of flashes, they had rushed out of the mountain range and swiftly disappeared into the horizon. Useless people. It is fine that they have escaped. Just capturing you will do. Han Shou's brow was lifted after he saw Yao Lao's group successfully fleeing. However, he could not be bothered to give chase. He turned his head and his eyes suddenly paused on the Tier 9 mysterious pill in Xiao Yan's hand. A greedy flashed within those eyes. Xiao Yan, hand over that medicinal pill and I will give you an easy death. What do you say? Otherwise, I will extract your soul and burn it for hundreds of years. I don't think you wish to suffer a fate worse than death. Xiao Yan merely smiled coldly in the face of Han Shou's words. He squeezed his hand and the jade bottle burst apart. The medicinal pill within it immediately turned into a ray of light. Before it could flee, however, Xiao Yan caught it with great reflex and directly stuffed it into his mouth. Bang! After the medicinal pill entered his body, the clothes over Xiao Yan's body had directly been turned into ashes. Densely packed dragon scales appeared over his skin. Waves after waves of indescribable energy continuously surged out from within his body like floodwater. At the end, the energy had actually agglomerated into an armor over Xiao Yan's body. What a powerful energy! Under the vast and mighty energy, Xiao Yan's body began to tremble continuously. The inside of his body felt as though he had just swallowed many huge dragons. It was a complete mess. Wild erosion spread over every part of his body. Under the uncontrolled violence of this energy, even Xiao Yan's perfect heavenly state soul had been humbled. Roar! An endless energy galloped through the interior of Xiao Yan's body. Finally, it turned into an earth-shaking roar that resounded over the entire area. The surrounding mountains had once again collapsed in the face of the furious roar. Yao Qian and Yao Ling also hurriedly stepped back. Interesting. Swallowing a Tier 9 mysterious pill requires many other things to aid in its refinement. This action of yours is no different from committing suicide. Han Shou lifted his brow after detecting the energy erupted from within Xiao Yan's body. He immediately shook his head and laughed coldly. I have given you a path to take but you refuse to. Do not blame me for being ruthless. Han Shou suddenly stepped forward as his words sounded. His body appeared in front of Xiao Yan almost immediately. The blood-colored large blade in his hand emitted a swoosh sound as it tore through the air and slashed onto Xiao Yan's neck with an extremely shocking speed. The bloodlight was rapidly magnified in Xiao Yan's eyes. He clenched his hand and a mighty energy agglomerated into a huge heavy ruler. Since he was unable to dodge, he would directly clash head-on with Han Shou. Clang! An unusually sharp wind spread as the blade and ruler collided. The mountain where the two of them stood on had been split into two. It collapsed with a bang while the entire mountain range trembled. Xiao Yan's figure was directly forced back by thousands of feet. A sweetness rose on his throat. However, both of his eyes were unusually excited. The earlier clash had exhausted quite a lot of energy, greatly relieving him of the feeling of being about to explode within his body. Again. Xiao Yan did not fear Han Shou as the medicinal strength continued to surge out from within his body. He moved and took the lead to appear in front of Han Shou. The heavy ruler in his hand did not contain any skill. It directly used the most brutal method to hack downwards violently time and time again. The vast and mighty energy had basically agglomerated into a 10,000 feet large ruler glow. The mountains were split wherever it passed. Clang, clang, clang. Han Shou's expression was a little ugly as he faced Xiao Yan, whose dope qi had erupted violently after swallowing the Tier 9 mysterious pill. The blood blade in his hands danced, forming many afterimages and receiving those heavy mountain-like ruler strikes. However, his body would descend by thousands of feet each time the heavy ruler fell. This caused his eyes to become a little gloomy. It was unexpected that Xiao Yan was actually so lively even after experiencing the big battle within the Yao realm. I will just watch how long you can be arrogant for. A tier 9 mysterious pill might be powerful, but you do not have the time to refine it. The energy will completely damage your body. At that time, I will see how you will continue fighting. Although Han Shao had been pressed into a disadvantage by Xiao Yan's seemingly mad attacks, Han Shao was unusually calm. He let out a cold laughter while putting up a defense. Xiao Yan completely ignored his cold laughter. The excitement in his eyes grew increasingly intense as the heavy ruler in his hand fell in a crazy fashion. His strikes became increasingly heavy. The entire Shenong mountain range had been destroyed into a complete mess at this moment. Clang! Another mountain-like powerful strike fell and Han Shao's arm had become a little numb. His body fell backwards by 10,000 feet. Many mountains were shattered to dust along the way. His expression also became wigglier. Ha ha, how enjoyable. Let's fight again another day. The math excitement in Xiao Yan's eyes suddenly vanished as he sent Han Shao flying with a ruler's strike. He laughed towards the sky. The pair of bone wings on his back was flapped as he immediately turned around and flew towards another direction. At that direction, black figure had grabbed Yao Qian and Yao Ling as it flew to the horizon. It was the Northern King, which Xiao Yan had ordered to secretly take the duo away while Xiao Yan was holding Han Shao back. Bang! Han Shao stomped his foot onto a mountain. Immediately, it was covered in cracks. Finally, the mountain was blasted apart and his body was stabilized. His face was dark and cold as he watched Xiao Yan flee into the distance. A low roar erupted. Xiao Yan, regardless of where you flee to, I will capture you, cut off your flesh and extract your soul. Han Shao moved as those vicious words sounded. He turned into a bloody light as he rushed forward with great speed. From the looks of it, he was clearly not intending to allow Xiao Yan to escape. A deep thunder-like sound suddenly appeared in the vast sky. Immediately, a bright light that caused one to be stunned flashed across the sky. In a flash, it appeared in the horizon. The rumbling explosion caused many experts along the way to raise their heads in shock. Soon after the bright light flashed across the sky, a monstrous evil aura suddenly spread across the sky from behind. A black light flew past. The monstrous evil aura caused many experts to be frightened. Even some of the sects did not dare to pay attention to it. Just a random wave of a hand by that kind of expert would likely eliminate the entire faction. The chasing conducted by such an expert was not something that they could observe. This fellow really doesn't give up. The bright light flashed through the sky. The figure inside paused momentarily and frowned upon sensing the murderous aura from behind. That figure was naturally Xiao Yan, who had fled after exchanging blows with Han Shao. However, he did not expect that the latter would actually continue to follow him. From the looks of it, the latter did not show any signs of giving up. Mr. Xiao Yan, there is still half a day's journey from this place to the GU realm. That fellow is catching up. Edo Qian, who was in Xiao Yan's hand, did his best to block the wind pressure from their great speed and cried out loud. Xiao Yan nodded slightly and frowned. The energy of the Tier 9 mysterious pill could only be described as terrifying. Currently, the interior of his body had already been damaged by the wild and violent energy until it was extremely miserable. Even though Little Yi had already done its best to refine the energy, it was still a little insignificant. If it was not because of his strong body, his body might have already exploded from the energy. Despite this, it was clearly not a long-term solution. How would he escape from Han Shao if the energy from the Tier 9 mysterious pill was to injure his body? The both of you should prepare to leave first. The condition inside my body is quite bad. If I'm afraid the Han Shao will catch up soon if I bring the two of you along with me. One of you should be able to keep your life if you leave now. That fellow's target is me. It is likely that he won't chase you. Xiao Yan mused for a moment and spoke in a deep voice. Even with the support of the energy from the Tier 9 mysterious pill, his speed would be slower than Han Shao if he brought two people with him. I'll follow you. Yao Qian and Yao Ling spoke almost at the same time after Xiao Yan's word sounded. They were aware that it was most dangerous to follow beside Xiao Yan. However, they wished to leave the safest position to the other party. What a touching scene. However, there is no time for argument now. Xiao Yan frowned and said. Yao Qian and Yao Ling were stunned as he heard this. The latter immediately threw a palm onto Yao Qian's chest. A gentle force pushed the latter away from Xiao Yan. However, Xiao Yan did not stop her. With a wave of his sleeve, he sent Yao Qian flying through the sky. A voice was transmitted into the latter's ears, "Hurry up and leave." Yao Qian steadied his body in a miserable manner. His eyes were completely red as he looked at Xiao Yang duo flying into the distance. Without uttering any unnecessary words, he turned around and hurried in another direction. "You are really decisive," Xiao Yang hugged Iso Ling's delicate waist. Pink flame wrapped around the both of them. Their speed suddenly soared. Yao Ling's face was a little flushed as her delicate waist was being tightly hugged by Xiao Yang. That cold frost on her face had also diminished slightly. She turned her head and looked at the face beside her. This was a face that was far from the handsome look of her brother Iso Qian. However, it caused her eyes to flicker. Given her cold and haughty nature, she had seldom felt any admiration for a person of the opposite gender during these years. This person was the only exception. The time which both parties had been in contact was quite short. Xiao Yang was serious and casual while he was. A beauty loves a hero. Regardless of how cold the beauty was, it was impossible for her to be an exception to this rule. Xiao Yang did not have the time to be bothered with the thoughts of the beauty in his embrace. At this moment, most of his thoughts were focused on suppressing and refining the out-of-controlled vast and mighty energy in his body. At the same time, he must maintain his speed. These various matters was quite a big test to him. Separate her. From far behind Xiao Yang, Han Shou, who had a gloomy expression, quickly swept his eyes over Xiao Yang's and Yao Qian's back. Finally, he let out a cold snort and continued chasing after Xiao Yang. These members of the Yao clan who had escaped were completely useless to them. However, it was different when it came to Xiao Yang. The latter had the Tu-Shi ancient god jade in his hand. This was something the Han clan must obtain. "I wish to see just how long you can last for." One party fled while the other chased in the sky. This continued for a couple of hours. During this period of time, the two parties had basically crossed half of the Central Plains. Although they had caught the attention of many experts along the way, no one dared to intervene in the face of Han Shou's shocking aura. All they did was simply watch the both parties flying through the sky. Following the flow of time, Xiao Yang's condition had clearly become increasingly worse. The crystal-like seemingly endless energy gathered within the meridians of his body. It firmly sealed off the many meridians. Even though Little Yi was doing its best to refine the energy, there would be an endless amount of energy crystals continuously appearing. The energy crystals slowly swelled and a vague pain was felt in Xiao Yang's unusually tough meridians. The energy of a Tier 9 mysterious pill was actually this frightening. "Mr. Xiao Yang." Yao Ling looked at Xiao Yang's miserable expression. Although the strength of her Do Qi was not very strong, her spiritual strength was quite powerful. Hence, she had also sensed that Xiao Yang's spiritual strength had become exhausted as it continued to weaken. "If something becomes amiss later on, I will send you away." Xiao Yang forcefully braced his attention. Currently, his body was not only filled with external injuries but the inside of his body was also a complete mess. It was already quite difficult for him to last until now. Yao Ling gently bit her lips. She suddenly extended her snow-white wrist and handed it to Xiao Yang. She softly said, "My constitution is a little unique. Hence, my blood possessed the effect of nourishing spiritual strength. Mr. Xiao Yang." Xiao Yang was immediately startled upon hearing this. His eyes glanced at the exquisite and attractive face of Yao Ling. The latter looked at him seriously. That appearance did not seem like she was lying. There is actually such a strange constitution, no wonder it is said that this lady might have a chance to step into the DI state spiritual strength. It is likely because of this constitution. A thought passed through Xiao Yan's mind. He did not utter anything unnecessary as he bit on Yao Ling's wrist. His teeth pierced into the blood vessel. A great amount of bright red blood was sucked into Xiao Yan's mouth. Xiao Yang violently shuddered after the blood, which contained a little unusual sweetness, entered his mouth. The blood had turned into a mysterious energy immediately upon entering his mouth. It spread swiftly and surged towards the center of his brow. His originally exhausted spiritual strength was actually being wrapped by a faint blood light. A feeling that was fuller than when he was at his peak suddenly appeared. What mysterious blood! A sleek redness swiftly rose on Xiao Yang's face. Both of his eyes brightened. He could clearly sense that his soul was greedily devouring the blood. This was the first time he had ever felt such a sensation. My spiritual strength might advance further if I sucked her blood dry. A thought from an unknown source flashed across Xiao Yang's heart. It was quickly eliminated by Xiao Yang in the next instant. He looked at Yao Ling, who was gently biting her red lips while wearing a pale expression, and involuntarily slapped himself violently within his heart for the beast-like thought. He slowly relaxed his mouth and wiped off the blood from the corner of his mouth. After which he muttered in an apologetic manner, "Thank you very much." Yao Ling shook her head slightly. Her pretty eyes looked behind her as she pressed her eyebrows together and said, "That fellow has become faster." Xiao Yang's expression changed slightly upon hearing this. He discovered that the sound of rushing wind far behind had become increasingly deep. Clearly, Han Shao had begun to feel impatient and had used some unknown method to increase his speed. Hold tight. This place is already quite close to the Jiyu clan. We will be safe once we arrive. Xiao Yang inhaled a deep breath of air. His eyes had become stern. The green-red wings on his back were flapped and his body turned into a lightning that swiftly hurried into the horizon. "Brat, I will not give you the opportunity to seek refuge in the Jiyu clan." Han Shao's face appeared extremely gloomy as he gave chase from behind. He did not expect Xiao Yang's speed to suddenly increase after having slowed for a moment. Immediately, the seal formed by his hands changed. Black Do Chi erupted in a monstrous fashion and turned into a black bat that was thousands of feet in size. A mouthful of essence blood was spat out. It adhered onto the bat. The bat flapped its wings. One could hear a swoosh sound as it completely vanished. "This is bad." Xiao Yang's expression changed drastically the moment Han Shao's figure disappeared. He grabbed Yao Ling in his embrace and suddenly lowered his body. "Kai?" Xiao Yang's body had just descended when a blood glow rushed out from the space above his head. It brushed past his head as it flew past. "Xiao Yang, where will you flee to?" The space fluctuated and a dense-looking Han Shao broke out from it. His eyes were ferocious as he stared at Xiao Yang. The blood blade in his hand was swung and a huge blood glow, which was tens of thousands of feet in size, cut through the air. It had the might of shattering the land as it slashed onto Xiao Yang duo. The blood glow was rapidly magnified in Xiao Yang's eyes. His face was extremely gloomy. His shoulders shook and Little Yi appeared in a flash. A golden lightning dragon was quickly wiggling on Little Yi's arm. However, Xiao Yang was just about to use the strength of the 9 mysterious golden lightning as a final retaliation when an elderly figure suddenly appeared in the space in front of him. A cry resounded from that figure. "Trying to murder in the territory of my Jiyu clan. Han Shao, you are really a little too arrogant." The figure which appeared in front of Xiao Yang was wearing green long robes, his hair was completely white. A smile hung on his fair-looking face, giving him a somewhat immortal-like feeling. "Han Shao, you should restrain yourself now that you have reached the territory of the Jiyu clan after such a long chase." The green-robed old man smilingly looked at Han Shao, whose murderous aura filled the air, and laughed. From the way he spoke, it seemed that he had already sensed Xiao Yang being chased by Han Shao since a long time ago. Jiyu Dao, the 3 immortals of the Jiyu clan. Han Shao's expression was gloomy as he looked at the green-robed old man. A solemn expression surged onto his face. It was unexpected that he had ended up meeting such a troublesome person the moment he had arrived. "My target is him. It has nothing to do with the Jiyu clan." The green-robed old man, who was called Gu Dao, smilingly shook his head upon hearing this. He said, "Ha ha, this won't do. Xiao Yan is considered half a member of the Gu clan. It is impossible for me to hand him over to you. Han Shou, you should hurry up and leave. Fighting in this place is disadvantageous to you." Xiao Yan was startled after seeing Gu Dao recognizing him upon sight. Since when did he become half a member of the Gu clan? "Little fellow, you have taken the opportunity to take Zun'er's virginity back in the demonic flame realm. Don't tell me that you intend to deny it." Gu Dao turned his head and spoke faintly, appearing as though he was aware of Xiao Yan's doubt. Xiao Yan widened his mouth. His face revealed a rare embarrassment. However, he quickly recovered and spoke in a deep voice, "Elder, the reason I have come to the Gu clan this time around is to inform your clan that the Yao clan had already been destroyed by the Han clan. The culprit behind the extermination of the Ling and Shi clans is also them." The smile on Gu Dao's face diminished slowly. His eyes turned towards Han Shou and he softly said, "You are indeed the ones behind it." This news was quite shocking to him. However, he did not feel any sense of disbelief. After all, they had already made some guesses after those incidents had occurred. However, they did not have the evidence and were unable to prove their guess. The thing that caused him to be furious was that these people had actually struck again. "You are really full of nonsense. Relax, your Gu clan will sooner or later meet the same fate as them." Han Shou laughed coldly but did not deny the claim. "I'm afraid that you do not have such a big appetite." Gu Dao frowned slightly. There was a chill surging within his voice. One's appetite is not simply shown by using words. Han Shou laughed loudly. The bat wings behind him were flapped. The space fluctuated and he directly appeared in front of Gu Dao. That blade was swung with a swoosh swoosh sound. A sharp blood-colored blade light engulfed Gu Dao. "Han Shou, we have not exchanged blows for hundreds of years, but it seems that you have not made much improvement. If it is not because your 4 demon saints of the Han clan rely on your numbers, my Gu clan's 3 immortals will not fear you even a little." Gu Dao merely laughed faintly in the face of the unusually sharp attack from Han Shou. He clenched his hand and 100 feet large green rod appeared in his hand. The rod danced and the energy of this entire place was stirred. It turned into an endless number of ferocious rod shadows that collided with Han Shou's blade glow. Clang clang. The rod and blade clashed. An extremely shockingly sharp storm swept out from this seemingly ordinary clash. The space within radius tens of thousands of feet in size had been shaken until it shook intensely. Wild wind swept over the plains. Sand flew and rock moved. Xiao Yan held Yao Ling and swiftly pulled back. He landed on a mountain before swiftly sitting down. The energy of the Tier 9 medicinal pill had already filled his body to the brim. If he did not think of a way to refine it, his body would sooner or later end up exploding. A Tier 9 mysterious pill is indeed not something that one can randomly swallow. Xiao Yan laughed bitterly. This was the first time that he had been turned into such a miserable state by a medicinal pill. Moreover, it was also the first time that he had a headache over having too much energy within his body. The seal formed by Xiao Yan's hands changed as he sat down. Little Yi immediately came out from within his body. It rapidly turned into a fire cauldron and wrapped his entire body within it. The purifying demonic lotus flame was finally completely unleashed. It surged into Xiao Yan's body from all directions and swiftly refined the seemingly real-like energy within his body, which had already turned into crystals. Without being attacked by an enemy, Xiao Yan was finally able to completely focus his mind on using all his strength to refine the energy crystals within his body. The effect of this all-out force had clearly brought about quite a great effect. The frightening strength of the purifying demonic lotus flame was once again unleashed. The crystals, which filled his veins, had swiftly turned into waves of torrent-like pure energy under this continuous refinement. It whistled and galloped within Xiao Yan's body. His meridians, which had been fully blocked, had once again become loose. Swish swish. The endless vast and mighty energy was slowly circulated within Xiao Yan's meridians. Finally, it turned into powerful Do Chi, which merged into Xiao Yan's limbs. Immediately, a feeling of being completely filled once again rose within his heart. Moreover, the Do Chi within his body had vaguely showed signs of slowly soaring. The effect of the Tier 9 mysterious pill was slowly being unleashed at this moment. While Xiao Yang was making full use of his time to refine the shocking medicinal pill energy within his body, the battle in the sky was also becoming increasingly intense. Jiyu Dao and Han Shou were the top experts from their respective clans. Moreover, they were at the 7-star Doshan class. The destructive force when they fought was naturally earth-shaking. However, it was unusually difficult for a victor to be decided. Damn it, why have I ended up meeting this old ghost? This is the territory of the Jiyu clan. Any large-scale battle will definitely attract the Jiyu clan's attention. At that time, if the other two Jiyu clan's 3 immortals were to come, he would likely have difficulty even retreating in one piece. A bloodlight that was tens of thousands of feet in size rose from the large ghost blade. However, it collapsed after being gently touched by Jiyu Qing's green rod. Han Shou's brow was tightly knitted. I must end this battle as soon as possible. A fierce glow flashed across Han Shou's eyes. The seal formed by his hand suddenly changed. That blood blade in his hand escaped and a bloodlight erupted. Immediately, the blade swelled to 10,000 feet. The enormous blood blade was suspended in the sky with an evil aura that seemed to have a form gathered around it. Bloodlight surged over the blade and his soul fluttered under this blade. Blood god tearing sky. The evil aura agglomerated over the blood blade. Han Shou's eyes became cold. The blood blade rushed downwards and a deafening sonic boom rumbled over the sky. The space within 100,000 feet collapsed as the blood blade passed. 100,000 feet large deep gully had also appeared on the plains tens of thousands of kilometers below. The gully was not wide but it was deep to the point of appearing bottomless. Jiyu Dao's expression became grave as the blood blade rushed downwards. The green rod in his hand swelled rapidly before violently colliding with the blood blade. Bang! An indescribable frightening wave swept over the sky. The plains, which was tens of thousands of kilometers large, had sunk by dozens of feet. Most of the mountains had collapsed and turned into dust. The destructive force from a fight between 7-star Doshems was actually this terrifying. Swoosh! The blood blade flew out and its size rapidly shrunk. Finally, it swiftly shot towards the direction where Han Shou's body was located. However, the blood blade was about to touch that figure when the latter suddenly disappeared. After image. Jiyu Dao's eyes suddenly shrunk. He rotated his gaze, only to see that Han Shou had appeared in a flash on the mountain in the distance where Xiao Yang was at. That earth-shaking attack from earlier was merely a distraction that Han Shou had used. His aim was still to capture Xiao Yang. Brat, I have said that you cannot escape. Han Shou's body appeared in front of Xiao Yang in a ghost-like fashion. He grabbed with his hand and the fire cauldron collapsed. However, Xiao Yang's tightly shut eyes were suddenly opened just as the former's hand was about to land on the top of his head. An aura that was many times stronger than earlier surged towards the sky. Dark clouds immediately churned and there was a faint thunder resounding over the sky. 6-star Doshen? You have actually refined a Tier 9 mysterious pill. Han Shou's expression suddenly changed after detecting Xiao Yang's stronger aura. Murderous intent rose within his eyes. He not only did not slow but has become even faster. Have a taste of this. Xiao Yang did not reveal the slightest fear in the face of this fatal strike by Han Shou. He let out a cold laughter. Suddenly, golden dragon symbols surfaced on his arm. The thunderbolts flashing within the dark clouds in the sky dimmed after these dragon symbols appeared. It was as though they had met something terrifying. Something's wrong. Han Shou glanced at the golden dragon symbol on Xiao Yang's arm. Without knowing the reason, Han Shou felt a little unease rising within his heart. However, it was already not in time for him to stop his attack at this moment. His palm wind became increasingly sharp as he ruthlessly smashed violently down from Xiao Yang's head. Go! A death god-like palm was rapidly being magnified in Xiao Yang's eyes. In the next instant, his arm suddenly trembled and the golden dragon symbol suddenly erupted. Finally, it turned into a golden lightning that shot out from his finger at a speed which was difficult to detect with his naked eye. Kai? The golden lightning had collided with Han Xiao's palm in an instant. Immediately, the sharp wind on the latter's palm collapsed. The lightning easily penetrated through his palm. Bang! A great force that could not be resisted came striking at Han Xiao the moment the lightning struck his palm. His body flew backwards. A continuous stream of blood shot out from him. This? Ji Yu Dao, who had swiftly rushed over, was startled as he watched this scene. His eyes were filled with shock and uncertainty as he looked at the golden lightning that flashed from Xiao Yan's finger and struck its target. He could sense an energy that caused even his heart to palpitate from it. Bastard, what is that thing? Han Xiao's body was stabilized in the air in a somewhat miserable manner. He looked at the charred black bloody hole on his hand. His defense from earlier was completely useless. If that strike was directly aimed at his head, it was likely that even he would be seriously injured. Swoosh! Intense sound of rushing wind was suddenly transmitted from a short distance away just as Han Xiao's expression had changed. Clearly, a large group of people were swiftly hurrying over. Xiao Yan, remember this. I will definitely make you repay for this 10 times over. Han Xiao clenched his teeth with great unwillingness. He also understood that he had lost his last opportunity. Immediately, he let out a vicious roar towards Xiao Yan before his body turned into a ray of black light that rushed into the distance. Xiao Yan indifferently looked at Han Xiao, who had disappeared into the distance. Only then did he slowly lift his arm. At this moment, his arm no longer possessed a feeling of the 9 mysterious golden lightning's strength. Even his current self was only able to barely control it. This video will end here.